How to use continuous feedback trends report. Under the report section of the UpRaise app, you will find the newly introduced continuous feedback trends report. The intention for this report to be made available to you is to give you insights about the adoption of continuous feedback, different trends across teams, designations, tags, and so on. One of the things that we have realized over a period of time, based on our experiences with different customers, is continuous feedback is difficult to adopt in an organization. It requires continuous push, a little bit of cultural changes for the entire team to adopt it thoroughly. Now, first and foremost, this continuous feedback trends report will be visible to you only if you are a super administrator within the UpRaise company directory. If you have any other role assigned, this report will not be visible. Assuming you have that access, you will see the continuous feedback trends report. And once you click on it, you'll be brought to a page that is full of insights, full of visualizations. Now we'll go through each one of these visualizations one by one. First, you can choose the duration. There are by default 5 options: current quarter, last quarter, current month, last 30 days, and all time. Since we are at the beginning of this quarter, there's not much of a data created already. So what we'll do is we'll switch the duration to last quarter to see the relevant data. The first visualization tells you the feedback creation across the entire organization. Feedback that is created, that is shared with any user, is separately indicated from the private notes. Depending on the duration, you will see different time frames. For example, here we are talking about quarter, that is 90 days. So a 10-day duration is covered across the entire quarter. However, let's say if you switch to all time, obviously, depending on what that all time duration is, maybe you'll see year on year, month on month, whatever makes sense, depending on the duration selected. For example, when I choose all time, you'll notice I have the graph that showcases year on year trend for feedback creation across the organization. In an ideal world, you would want to see this creation trend grow as you move to the right. Then you've got feedback creation across teams. This tree chart tells you which are those teams, which are those groups in your organization who have wholeheartedly created feedback in the given duration. So for example, in the all-time duration, the leadership team has probably given the maximum number of feedback messages. They have created 345 messages. Then you've also got other Atlassian apps team that has created 286. So the size of these different boxes also indicates the volume of feedback these teams have created. Moving on to the next visualization, this column chart, it gives you average feedback created per team member. Now, this is a tricky calculation because team members get deactivated, deleted as the time progresses. So how is this average arrived at? It is based on the teams associated with users currently, meaning users can move from one team to the other team, right? So this is not indicating a snapshot from the past, but it is based on a user's current teams. So here it indicates average feedback created per team member. This is sales and customer success team have created 264 feedback messages. Product team have 71. Now, obviously, this statistic does not really make sense if you're looking at an all-time duration. So let me switch to the last quarter, and you will see UpRaise apps team on an average has created 1.5 feedback messages per team member. Marketing team has created 5.67. ScreenJar team has created 0.5. So this will help you indicate or highlight the teams that are creating more number of average feedback as compared to the others in the organization. Moving on, you have average feedback created per employee. Here again, you'll find a tooltip that explains how this average is calculated. Only currently active users are taken into consideration, and only that feedback that they have created within the given duration is looked at. So you'll notice the trend line going up and down. So on an average, per employee, how many feedback messages are created across this duration? This will give you an indication of whether there is a specific duration people are creating feedback, or whether there is some kind of a trend that you can utilize to incentivize feedback creation for your employees. The next visualization is feedback distribution across tags. As the name suggests, all it is doing is it is looking at all of the feedback that is created in the given duration and then distributing it based on the tag. Each continuous feedback exchange can be associated with a single tag, and accordingly, it shows up in this pie chart. This will give you an indication as to which are those feedback tags that people are using, and which are the ones that are not getting used as much as you would like. Then you can use that information to either retire some of those tags, introduce new ones, and take further course corrective measures. Moving on, the next donut chart indicates feedback distribution across labels. Any feedback that is exchanged can be associated with one or more labels, and given that labels are optional, the feedback creator is free not to add any kind of label to it. And that is the reason you see not labeled as one of the categories in here. Otherwise, you will easily be able to spot that attention to detail is one of the area where 13 feedback messages have been exchanged in the last quarter. This again will help you identify the popular labels. It will help you figure out whether you should introduce new labels and what are those different areas that you want your feedback exchanges to focus on. The next one is feedback created by designation. This will tell you, based on the feedback creators designation, how many feedback they have created. For example, you'll notice product managers have created 8 feedback messages in the last quarter. QA engineers have created 3. So this will help you visualize what are those positions in your organization that are readily creating feedback across different colleagues, teams, and the entire organization. And finally, you've got top feedback providers and top feedback requesters. This essentially indicates the list of users who have created maximum number of feedback messages in the given duration. You'll see the top 3 in here. If there is any tie, you will see multiple users listed in one row. In the right hand side, similarly, you will see the top feedback requesters. These are the requesters, these are the users, these are the employees who have created maximum number of feedback requests in the given duration. You can utilize the continuous feedback trends report to measure adoption of continuous feedback across the organization, across the teams, across different designations and multiple different variables, and incentivize, talk more about these continuous feedback messages, requests, and importance of having a transparent communication at your workplace. Hope that was helpful. Thank you.